Hey everyone, Shaedow here, and welcome to another Marvel Contest of Champions video. So we're back again. We're in Chapter 1, and we're on the final quest of Chapter 1. And you can see the team that I went in here with. It's pretty much the same team that I've been using throughout Chapter 1. I brought Killmonger in for the synergy he has with Winter Soldier, although he's actually put in some work in previous quests. So definitely don't mind bringing him, and I wish I had him as a 5 or a 6 star. He is a beast. All right, so this is my first time in here, as you can see. First fight is Carnage. Now, Carnage got buffed recently. He's really good now. You can see the nose that we're going to have to deal with, the active buffs. That masochism is a pain. However, Carnage can be bled and poisoned. And if you have watched my other videos, you know that when a champion can be bled and poisoned, I'm thinking Archangel. So Archangel is actually really good for that masochism that you saw, because he does so many debuffs that the masochism gets eaten up very quickly. And once you have those neurotoxins on, he's not going to be able to heal from anything that the masochism ate up. And the result is that he goes down quite quickly. I love my Archangel. He might not be the best in every situation, but when he can, your champion can be bled and poisoned. If your opponent can be bled and poisoned, bring in your Archangel. Unless the buffs, the active buffs, have something on them that makes him not a good candidate. So you see here, I'm kind of casing the place, looking around, trying to see who I'm going to end up having to fight. I looked over there, I saw that aspect, and I saw over here, there's a masochism, and I'm like, okay. So it looks like what I want to do is go straight ahead. Now, I don't know if that's going to be the easiest path, but it's the path I chose, the path that I thought was going to be the easiest, given the fights that I had ahead and the buffs. And again, we come to someone who can be bled and poisoned, so I bring out my Archangel. And fighting with Archangel is pretty straightforward. If you can parry them, you parry heavy. If you can fire off your L1, go for it, especially if they're bleeding and poisoned already, because you want to get those neurotoxins up on them as quickly as possible. And neurotoxins happen when you have both a bleed and a poison. They get combined into a neurotoxin. So if the champion is either bleed or poison immune, then you're not going to get any neurotoxins on them. So since I could bleed and poison this opponent, again, just like the previous one, he goes down pretty quickly, pretty easily. Next up, we've got Sabretooth. Now, Sabretooth can be a royal pain to fight. However, and you may have guessed it, he can be bled and poisoned. So, he is a prime candidate for Archangel. Now, one of the things that I like about this matchup is that Sabretooth likes to heal a lot. Archangel's neurotoxins shut down that healing, but there's something that a lot of people don't realize. Even if your Archangel is not awakened, you can still do this fight. All you need to do, you have to fight a little bit differently, and you get some poisons on him. Each stack of Archangel's poisons reduces the healing by 30%. So get 3 or 4 poisons. 3 poisons, they're going to heal very, very little. 4 poisons, they're not healing at all. So even without him being awakened, he is still a beast. You'll have to take some block damage and that sort of thing, but it's still doable. I ranked forward my Archangel without him being awakened, and I never regretted it. I only recently awakened this Archangel. All right, so next up, we've got our first Ultron drone. And my drone killer is my 6-star Winter Soldier with the Killmonger synergy. He is basically, with the synergy, a mini Star-Lord. If you could bring tech to this quest, Star-Lord would be perfect for this. But since you can only bring skill and mutant, you have to make do. Fortunately, with that synergy, we have Star-Lord-like damage. And I say like because I only have a 4-star Killmonger. So Winter Soldier's power, his attack power, goes up 2% for every hit on his combo meter. With a 5 or 6-star Killmonger, that percentage is higher. So he is definitely a beast for this challenge, and he is my MVP when it comes to fighting drones. Archangel, for this particular quest for clearing, was the clear winner. Just look at Winter Soldier. Just taking him down. Doesn't matter that he can't bleed him. Winter Soldier also can switch ammo and incinerate. Winter Soldier is quite the beast. And I think he's underrated. Alright, so now I'm looking and I see that I'm going to have to fight another Sabretooth. So I'm like, okay, which way am I going to go? And I'm like, well, do I want to fight Wasp right now? I could. But instead, because I have Blade, I decide to go after Magic. Blade makes Magic very easy to fight. He gets Danger Sense against her without needing any synergy. She's a dimensional being. But look at this. She procced that Limbo. Now keep in mind, my Blade is not max sig. He's well over 100 though. I think he's like 120, 30 or something like that. But there's still a chance that his Danger Sense will not completely shut down a node or, you know, their abilities. So she will still proc Limbo, but then she has to try to heal from it. So she may proc the Limbo, do the damage to me, but then not heal at all. But in any case, Blade, definitely the best person to use. But look at my health. Just ugly. But thanks to the node, I'm back up. Very nice, very nice. So definitely Blade. And you still have to play a little bit, you know, wait out, be aware of the health bars and what you're doing. So next up, we've got Howard the Duck. And I don't like Howard the Duck, and I don't like fighting Howard the Duck. And that aspect of chaos is just an extra annoyance. So Howard the Duck can be bled and poisoned. So who am I thinking about, fellas and ladies? Yes, Archangel. So I bring in Archangel here. And now there is one thing that makes him not necessarily the best choice for this fight. I probably should have gone in with Blade instead because of the aspect of chaos. So the bars are constantly switching, right? But Archangel has a bleed, poison, neurotoxins, and I can't stop that when the bars switch. So as you see, our health bars are about the same. And unfortunately, I have one more fight that I wanted to use Archangel for. But because of this fight, chances are if I want to use him, I've got to heal him up. And next up is Sabretooth. So it was a, you know, slight mistake on my part to use Archangel for that, even though he can be bled and poisoned. If you'll remember, I was telling you, unless the node makes him not necessarily the best candidate. And in this case, I would have done better using Blade for that fight. Or even Winter Soldier, who I was trying to keep for the drones. But it is what it is. I just healed up a little bit. Nothing too big. Have it in my stash. What am I going to use it for otherwise? It's going to expire. I have some in my overflow. They're going to just expire, so may as well use them up. So just like the other fight, we just parry heavy. He can be bled. He can be poisoned. Get those neurotoxins. He's not going to heal at all. So Archangel, definitely the MVP for clearing this content. But I would recommend someone else for the aspect of chaos nodes, because of the fact that once you put those neurotoxins and poisons and stuff on them, you can't turn them off when the health bars switch. So you're going to be doing a lot of damage to your own health bar and to the health bar all throughout the fight. So, you know, he can do it, but probably not the best option. And down goes Sabretooth. Lost a bit of health, but I believe that is the last fight that I needed Archangel for. Yes. So we're here at the final boss, and it is about this time that I realized that I made a slight mistake. Caltrops. You may notice I do not have any bleed immune champions. So when I saw that, I'm like, okay, this is gonna suck. This is gonna suck big time. But I checked for my boost, because I was definitely boosting, and I go in with Blade. Now I'm thinking if I can get Blade up to, you know, full power, the Caltrops is not going to be a concern for him. But I did not play him that well. I know others who can do this. You know, you saw me healing up, so that's taking the power that I need to shorten the bleed duration. So I need a little bit more practice fighting with Blade on a Caltrops node, but he's definitely not my first choice. And as you can see here, I didn't do a whole lot of damage to this drone. But my goal is to just try to do as much damage with each of my champions as I can and reduce the number of resources I'm going to use. So you saw there, I actually got to 3 bars of power, but didn't really help. He just took me out. I was already too low in health. So next up is Killmonger, and of course, I'm not thinking of taking him down with this Killmonger here. Not on this node. So I'm trying to do a little bit better in not dashing back and picking up that bleed. So you can see here, I'm just taking all the block damage. Not going to be able to deal with that for very long, that's for sure. But if I can just do, you know, a good amount of damage, I'm happy. You know, I'll be able to take, you know, a few more of those specials. There you see my muscle memory kicked in and I dashed back. Sometimes I just can't stop that, you know, muscle memory, and my reflexes take over. But I held it there, and that's pretty much how you have to fight him if you don't have a bleed immune. You just have to avoid dashing back, do a lot of parries like you see me doing there, and just take all that block damage. Not much else that you can do here, and try to do as much damage as possible. So Killmonger, you know, for a 4-star here, he did a respectable amount of damage here, and I was pleased with that. You see there's nothing I could do there. You know, either dash back, avoid the special and die to the bleed, you know, or take the block damage and die to that, you know. So I bring in my Winter Soldier, and I apologized to my Winter Soldier before we went into this fight because, of course, he's not bleed immune. So normally he can rip up these drones, but, you know, not on this particular node here. So all I'm trying to do here, max damage. You see I'm throwing the special whenever I can get the special. And you saw I dash back there. Muscle memory, reflex, yet again. But the adrenaline does help a little bit with that bleed damage. So he lasted a little bit longer than he would have ordinarily. And his damage is ramping up here. And I kind of messed up right there. I was a little bit slow. And then just look at this. Not much. Once I was a little slow on that, it was over with. I already knew I was going down. But Winter Soldier did, you know, a decent amount. Next up, Hawkeye. Now, of course, I cannot bleed this drone. And when I brought Hawkeye in, I hadn't fully decided what path I was going to take. And Archangel did such a great job against so many of them. But I could have used Hawkeye in a couple of those fights, just that Archangel was, you know, a better choice. And so here I am just trying to do as best I can not to dash back, to keep him against the wall, to drain his power. He's not throwing his specials, which is helping me, and I'm able to parry him right off the wall like that, so I'm not dashing back. And I was actually impressed with how well Archangel did here. You know, I'm sitting here nervous, and I already went into the fight thinking, okay, Archangel is the most, you know, he's the most horrible option for this. He's not, you know, bleed immune, and he can't bleed his opponent. So he is a terrible, terrible option for this. But I was going to go through my roster anyway, and I was thinking of using maybe a team revive and just kind of getting him down, depending on how well I did here. So you can see his health has gone down, but look at how long he lasted here. You know, he's got well over 100 hits. So I was very impressed with how well Archangel did here. And that power drain was useful, because where I was taking a lot of the damage was from having to block the special. But every time he didn't block it, anytime the opponent didn't throw a special, and I was able to parry and drain his power, that helped a ton in Hawkeye's survivability. So look at that health. And we're nearing assassin range, because I did pick up assassin. So even though, you know, Hawkeye wasn't the best, he did a respectable amount of damage here. And you saw there, I had been doing it too long, and again, my muscle memory took over, and down goes Hawkeye. But because he put in such an awesome performance, there's no way I was going to do a team revive. So, of course, Archangel, he had just a little bit of health, so I may as well go in there and, you know, get a few licks in. You know, I didn't think I was going to get a whole bunch of licks in, but got some licks in. Any amount of damage that I'm able to do here is goodness. And down he goes, but look at the damage he was able to do just in that little bit of time. So no team revive here. He just has a little bit of health left. I haven't used a revive yet. So now's the time. You can see I'm maxed out. I got stuff in my overflow. Level 1 revives in my overflow. So may as well go ahead and use a level 1 revive. Boom, 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 boom. One more. D, and he's gone. Not even 2 full combos. And down this guy goes. So that's going to do it, guys. Click like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know what you thought about this video. I'm hoping that this video will help you in your journey to complete Chapter 1 of Ultron's Assault, the variant difficulty. And you guys have a blessed day.